Thank you, Madam President. Now, I am rising once again to ask the Senate's consent to move to the House resolution condemning the President's abrupt decision to withdraw U.S. troops from northern Syria. Despite the Pandora's box of problems the President's decision has opened, the slaughter of our partners, the Kurds, and I think many of us on both sides of the aisle ache for the Kurds, who risked their lives. Many of them lost their lives so our soldiers would not be in harm's way. There's the strategic gain of our, we have order, Mr. President? Madam President, excuse me. The strategic gains of our adversaries in Tehran, Moscow, and Damascus, and most troubling, the potential resurgence of ISIS. The President has failed to articulate any strategy at all. We have asked to have Secretary Pompeo, Secretary Esper, Director Haspel come before us. They've canceled again today because they don't have a plan. Now, this is America at risk. We in New York know better than anybody else how a small group of people, thousands of miles away, evil people, can cause terrorism and hurt us. And there is no strategy about what to do with the tens of thousands of ISIS prisoners and their fellow travelers who had been locked up and guarded by the Kurds. No one believes, and I've talked to the top military and intelligence people, that either Syria or Turkey has the interest in preventing ISIS from escaping that we do. Erdogan, in fact, hates the Kurds far more than he hates ISIS. So every day that this lack of policy, this lack of just common sense from the President and this White House puts American lives in danger. What's the best way to get the President to act? Well, my friends, you know it. It's you. When Republican senators protest what the President has done, he sometimes acts. Witness Doral. I guarantee you my speeches had very little effect on him, but yours did. Well, this is far more important than Doral. This is America and lives at stake. Our battle against terrorism, which we fought jointly most of the time, is now being jeopardized. And frankly, when Leader McCarthy and Representative Scalise and Representative Cheney can vote for this kind of resolution, why should we not be doing the same? It will send a better message to the President than anything else we can do. My friend, the Republican leader, says we need a stronger resolution. Quibbling over words at a time when America's in danger doesn't make sense to me, particularly a resolution that he knows will not pass the House and not go to the President's desk. So, I would plead with my colleagues, let's move forward. I plead with my friend from Kentucky. They're both my friends from Kentucky. But I'd plead with the junior senator from Kentucky to not stand in the way. He has a different worldview than almost all of us. But we talked early this morning. I asked him, was he against going after the Taliban and bin Laden when they hit us in America, in New York? And he said no. Well, this is the same kind of thing. We're happy to vote on his resolution. Let's vote on both. This is momentous. These terrorist acts from escaped ISIS prisoners might not occur tomorrow. They might not occur 6 months from now. They might not occur a year from now, but they may, and they certainly, almost certainly will, at some point in the future. And we will risk lives, American lives, of our intelligence officials, of our special forces. We will risk security of America. We will spend millions of dollars. The sooner we can put this back And the only person who can is President Trump, and the only people who can really pressure him are sitting right here, the better. I would plead with my colleague from Kentucky and with all of us, because even if he objects, we could pass this joint resolution within a few days to do it. Our security, the security of this wonderful country and its beautiful 320-some-odd million people deserve no less. I yield the floor.
Madam President.
Senator from Kentucky.
Reserving the right to object.
Madam President.
He didn't quite get there. All right.
Madam President, as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of Calendar 246, H.J. Res. 77, that the joint resolution be read a third time, the Senate vote on passage with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection?
Madam President.
Senator from Kentucky.
Reserving the right to object. If Democrats want to send our young men and women to fight in the Syrian civil war, let's have that debate. By all means, let's have the constitutional debate today on the Senate floor, right here, right now. If Democrats are so hungry for war, let's have that debate. Our founding fathers gave us a constitutional method to go to war. If there be a national security interest in Syria, let's hear it. The other side does not want that debate. They want to lob invective at the president, but they aren't prepared to debate about whom are we to go to war against. Do they wish to declare war on our NATO ally, Turkey? Do they wish to declare war on our former ally, the Free Syrian Army? Do they wish to declare war on Syria's Assad? They don't know. No, Democrats just want to heap abuse on the president. They don't want to debate war because they have no clue to whom to declare war on. In reality, the president made the wise decision to move 50 soldiers out of the way of tens of thousands of Turkish troops. Ironically, the president's decision may finally allow the Kurds to negotiate with Assad for a semi-autonomous region in northern Syria. Perhaps, if the Kurds pledge their battle-proven fighters to Assad, they might receive in exchange some autonomy and a share in the oil receipts, much as the Kurds did in Iraq. Already we are seeing promising cooperation between the Kurds and Assad. This week, Turkey's Erdogan met with Putin. Putin already is allied with Assad. There is a possibility diplomacy may actually break through here. There is a real chance that the Syrian civil war could come to an end if Assad, with the Kurds' help, would agree to secure the border and not allow Kurdish raids into Turkey. The Permanent War Caucus on both sides of the aisle claims that repositioning 50 troops is the end of the world. Perhaps, just maybe, less of our presence in Syria will actually lead to diplomacy and ultimately peace. Only time will tell. I object.
Objection is heard.
Madam President, I don't want to prolong this. I'd make two quick points. Number one, my friend from Kentucky thinks he knows what's better for the Kurds than the Kurds know. The Kurds hate going into the arms of Syria, hate it. Second, if our friend from Kentucky believes that any time we have a small number of special forces in different places and we have them all over, that we need a declaration of war, then his view is different than 99.9% of America and from every other single person in this chamber. We do not need a declaration of war for a small number of special forces to be there to protect us against terrorism, and my friend from Kentucky knows that. I yield.
Senator from Kentucky.
If our goal is to create a Kurdish homeland and to defend it for them, hell yes, we need a debate and a vote, and we need authorization of force. You can't just say we're going to stay there forever. It would take tens of thousands of troops if you want to pacify Syria. It's not been pacified for 8 years. It's an utter and complete mess, and it's time we get the hell out.
The clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture.
Cloture motion.